We're heading to Jacola right now, where TJ lives, his condo. 2 summers ago, in the paper, Anderson or Pennant, they said there's these Mexican workers working in the boiler room to finish up the building, and they saw an outline of this white figure. They said it was an old ghost, and researchers went and found out that in 1913 there was a nun that was part of the Jacola, and she died there. So her body's buried there, and that's what the Mexican workers thought that they saw. And TJ and I 2 years ago went down the boiler room to check it out. I didn't see anything though, but I don't know what kind of state of mind I was in. What about you, TJ?
Well, man, I didn't see anything, but I felt a little cold. I got some cold chills. My heart started racing. I can't really explain it, but
yeah,
it felt like something was up in there.
Yeah, I mean, I was yelling at it to come out, man. You remember, you were going crazy. You're like,
yeah, I was screaming like a little girl. I think I might have started crying.
You're like, yeah, it was freaky.
It was. I had goosebumps.
I guess you left your keys, didn't you?
I did in my room. I did leave them in the room.
All right, screw it. Pretty much, the boiler room is getting nothing to see in there. Anyways.
That's true. It's just a normal boiler room, but you walk in. Got your heater, generator, got the water pipes running to it.
Yeah.
It's just a small little room. Got, I think there's a mop, some dirty water on the floor. We walked in, not much in there, but it felt pretty cold.
Yeah, I remember it was cold down there.
Yeah, I mean, then goosebumps, it wasn't because I was cold, it was because I was scared. I mean, you felt the same way.
We're heading back to Stringer now. We're Marsh and I live freshman year. And just to give you a little story behind that. Marsh would always try to scare us, saying random stories about how he would hear stuff on weekends. We all would go home, but we would start, like, every now and then someone would experience something. But then it started getting a little weird. Halfway through second semester, was it second semester?
Yeah, it was second semester when it was getting weird.
Yeah, it started getting rough. We're right up here.
It's the fourth one to each.
Yeah. Good old D.
Yeah, Stringer D, second floor.
But yeah, we'll tell you more. We'll tell you some more about it when we get out.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to get out. I can just take a picture right here, really.
All right. Well, that works.
Just keep going up. What else you got to add to it, Jeremy?
Well,
stop right here, Teach.
Well, the story is, I mean, everybody, of course, when you get here as a freshman, everybody hears how Anderson's haunted and stuff. But the main story is about how Sullivan, the president at the time that lived there, and his daughter got upset because her dad wouldn't let her date some guy that went to school here. So, I mean, of course, the only resort is to kill herself. But in doing that, everybody says how they hear weird things in Sullivan now. Nobody ever really said anything about Stringer. But freshman year, Marsh would talk about how he would just hear weird stuff in the hallway.
Yeah, and I thought it was one of y'all, but nobody was there. I was the only one there. It's just kind of weird, like somebody walking around. It wasn't like too noisy, but like somebody was walking around in the hall.
Yeah, and I remember there was a couple times I was getting a shower, and whenever I got out, it was, I don't even know how to explain it. There was just like maybe writings or drawings. Something was on where the mirror was fogged up.
Angel dancing in the street.
And there's Camp Safety. I wish something would haunt them.
That would be fun. I think something happened over there. Who knows?
I think some of the people that work there are dead. Literally.
I mean, probably because they're old and they died.
Right here,
Sullivan Building.
Believe it or not, that used to be the president's house long ago.
Long time ago. Now the president's house is awesome looking.
Like I said earlier, the rumor is that some chick hung herself all up in there. And I actually have talked to people that have been in there at night that say they've like heard noises from upstairs whenever they're in there. It freaked them out. Of course, we're not going to go to a scary movie and go explore and check it out. But
right.
Split up in different directions.
Yeah.
They actually had the newspaper in the 80s. I was reading online. Some of the workers heard piano music in there, or like just random piano music and stuff. Is that what you heard you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apparently she's pretty good though.
I guess she is, isn't she?
I mean, it's no boiler room, but
Yeah, it's no boiler room.
I don't think
Looks nice on the outside.
should we go try and see if we can arouse it?
Alright, I'm here in 1D with a few of my friends, Big G, Ryan, and Chase. Been going around and filming ghost stories, and last week, was it last week? Last week, something really weird happened in here, and like, I don't know if it's coincidence or not, me doing these ghost stories, but these two gentlemen have a story to tell me. Start with you, Ryan, first.
With the microwave?
Yeah.
Well, it was early last week, and I just got out of an exam, and I walked in. It was about, I don't know.
It's about 10 o'clock, because it was right after my class.
10 o'clock, yeah. So I just came back from my attendance exam, and I walked in, you know, still tired, whatever. Went to my room. The microwave was on, so, you know, normal stuff.
Right.
Maybe somebody cooking something, whatever. I went in, changed out of my attendance stuff, changed out of my, was getting into my suit for my presentation. Came back out like 5 minutes later, the microwave's still running. So I'm like, you know, that's a Newton machine. You know, you're not gonna be cooking anything for 5 minutes. So I went over to it, and I remembered they'd been cleaning the night before and moved everything, unplugged everything. So I went up to the microwave, and it wasn't plugged up, and there were no numbers on at all. It was just going, and it was off. So I whipped out my phone, and I took about a 23-second video of it where it shows it's not plugged in, and there's no numbers on the timer. So I continued filming it for about 20 seconds, still going. I turned off my camera, opened it, and it still went for about 3 or 4 more seconds before finally turning off. So I don't know much about electricity, but I know you gotta have some for the microwave to work.
That microwave over there in the corner.
This one right here, this black Newton machine we got going.
Is the one.
You can see the plug-in behind the Keurig over there. It was
Yeah.
not in.
I see the plug-in.
It wasn't in. It
Okay.
had been cleaned and just sitting there. No timer, just like it is now. It was completely blank.
Did you ever try opening up the microwave?
I did. After I turned my camera off, I set it down and I opened the microwave, and the light stayed on and it was still running for a good 3 seconds before it finally turned off.
I don't think a microwave's supposed to do that.
No, when you're supposed to open the door, they cut themselves off.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's weird. All right, and what else happened? Something else happened that night too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, I lost my mom this past summer, and every time I go home, there's a lot of weird stuff. There's lights on, her bedroom lights are on, and all her lights are unplugged. But that's beside the point. But you know, with graduation quickly approaching, it's like mom's not going to be there, and it's just been a little bit intense. But I mean, I have tons and tons of pictures on my wall of my mother. I have a big, huge Duke one with all of the autographs of Duke players, and you know, one night I was laying there and it seemed like all my pictures were just starting to fall off the walls. You know, all the ones of my mom started to just slowly kind of fall off one by one, and then about 4 in the morning, my Duke one just collapsed off the wall, and it's been hanging there since January, since I got back, and there's been no issues, and I've never had picture problems at all. And they all just constantly fell off. So I thought, since my window is open and I have a window fan, that it was actually like the humidity from the rain and stuff. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. You know, they're probably just heavy and the humidity got to them. Well, I mean, it wasn't the weight, because I have my mother's obituary on a piece of construction paper, and it weighs ounces. And when I was sitting there talking to somebody about it on the phone, I look over at that obituary thing and it just and falls off, and I was like, wow, it's not because of weight. It can't possibly be.
Yeah.
And the next morning, I was getting dressed to go work in the calf, and I was sitting in my chair, and I was putting my shoes on, and I look over at my sink, because I wanted to look at the Duke picture, because it seemed like it was a little bit crooked out of the corner of my eye, and I look over at my sink, and I legitimately saw the sink nozzle or handle go up, and the sink came on all by itself. And I did not like this at all. I went and turned it off and decided to just go to work, and then that night I came back and my pictures started falling off the wall again.
Dang.
And that's a little odd.
Think that could be your mom saying something to you?
I don't know.
Since it was her pictures, you know?
I have no idea.
It would be something Carolyn would do to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
If
true.
you know Mama G at all, you know she's a trickster. She likes to have fun. So
That would
If it was anybody, it very well could have been her. She's having a good laugh at us before we get out of here. You know?
Yeah.
So, no, I definitely didn't feel anything negative or anything like that. So.
Right. It's just weird.
Just you know, just weird.
Something that don't happen every day.
Well,
Your microwave don't cut on with no plug-in.
No, that's definitely. You wouldn't see a car start by itself and drive down the road and no one did it.
Yeah.
You don't expect to see a microwave.
Or a faucet turn itself on.
Yeah, it's definitely odd.
Dang.
Definitely
Well,
odd.
appreciate your time, fellas, and your story.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm here at the city of Anderson right now, about to walk into the municipal building where one of the police officers here, Ron Colbert, has actually witnessed seeing ghosts on their surveillance video, and he was on this TV show from California. They came over and did a documentary about all these hauntings and stuff, and he was actually on television for about 2 minutes or so, and I'm gonna go and get his input of what he saw. There's the man. What's up, Ron?
Hey, Marco, what's happening?
Not much. Ready to do this documentary?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go do it.
All right.
So I heard something interesting happened in 2009 with some kind of ghost or whatever. Can you elaborate on that for me?
Well, in 2009, we were working on a weekend, Memorial weekend. What's that called? Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And it was on a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And while the guys were working on the walls, fixing the walls, and doing different things, I was sitting at my computer, and I noticed something out of the glimpse of my eye move on one of the cameras. So from there, I started watching, more video, and then next few days it showed these several. It always reminds me of ghost-like children, small children, and they were walking around in the lobby, and just like as if they were lost or something. And then a few days later, this orb appears, which is this bright light, and it flies around in the room, and it's going all kinds of directions, and then it just goes right out the wall, straight through the wall. So it became very interesting, and it did that for several weeks, and finally all of it disappeared, and then a couple of months later the orb shows back up, and it does different things, but one time it just appears and just stops right in the middle of the room and just stays lit up, and it doesn't do anything. It did that for about a minute, and then it disappeared. One time it came out of looks like it came right out of the floor and shot across the room and out the wall it went.
You don't think that could be something wrong with the camera or some kind of light coming in through the windows, or?
No, it's not. We checked the cameras. We cleaned the cameras. Mark Cunningham, the IT director for the city of Anderson, he cleaned the camera on the outside, the lens on the inside. It still appeared. We even had a new camera installed, and it still appeared. This is the little ghost-like children in the orbs that were flying around. And we did that 3 times. I believe we changed the camera twice, and it still kept on coming back. And it was a very interesting time.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.